Whew. A little goosebumpy there, huh?
Every time.
Welcome, welcome. Launch 25 is upon us. It's hard to believe it's January 30th already.
It's the end of the month tomorrow.
Which is the typical time we like to drop some new goodies, per
We made it through. It was ridiculously cold January, and then it was like 50 today.
It was a 90-degree turnaround in 2 weeks.
It's pretty incredible.
Minus 40 to 50. Our pipes froze, and now we've got T-shirts on.
We had I have customers down in Florida in like Destin, and they had like 6 inches of snow. I'm like, how's that going?
I saw a stat that Baton Rouge has twice as much snow year to date than Anchorage, Alaska.
That's not
It was 8 inches versus 4 inches. I mean, we haven't had snow in 2 years. So, but welcome, product launch 2025. The gang's all here. We've got a bunch of new products. It's been actually really hard the last 30 days to answer questions without integrating some of our new products. And it's my worst 30 days of the year because I know that they're here, but I can't tell you about them. And it really sucks. So
now they're here.
Tonight we can just release the hounds, and it's a great time. We got Jakey Boy and Sam in the house. Sammy's locked into the computer tonight, so he probably won't be very present. We got the Mullet Man with us tonight.
Yep.
Old Jakey Boy, Billy Ray, to talk about some of the products. He's one of our guinea pigs, obviously. So I think this is podcast number 31, something like that, and probably like the 20th one that Hop and Barrel's been our proud friend.
They hooked us up. They hooked us up
big time.
Today.
Yeah.
We got lemon breakers are back in action for you.
Which is a surefire sign of spring, planting season. Lemon breaker, they all kind of come hand in hand.
It's not spring. It's January.
Sorry.
Like we still have February.
Today was spring.
We still have February.
I mean, I thought about frost seeding today.
I got a little seedy out there today,
Yeah.
but the reality is like February's going to come and just slap you.
Jake got sheddy, you got seedy.
Yeah, just like I want to put some seed down.
This guy to my right is so freaking sheddy. I think it's I don't even know what it is.
But it's like I told him he could go shed hunt at my property, and he's like, "Wait, when can I go? Can I go tomorrow?
Can I go right now?
Like now? You want to go? Do you have headlamps?"
So, I kind of want the viewers' response on this.
Headlamps.
I'm curious their feedback. We were at ATA this year, and Jake got it in his brain that he needed some shed goggles to make it easier to find sheds.
Is this a real thing?
Oh yeah, 100%.
This is the first time hearing about it. This is great.
They're in my truck. I wish I would grab
Shed
them.
goggles.
Well, they're shed sunglasses or something.
They're called fun guys.
Jeez, This was not on my bingo card.
Do we think these actually help, or do we think Jake has a problem?
Jake has a problem. What do? They illuminate
I
them,
want
hot
everybody's-
paint?
The guy told me, he said you find more sheds, 50% more sheds.
50%.
What has he found?
Well, he's a mushroom guy. That's
So
why
now instead of finding 2 sheds, you're going to find 3?
So I can see if it helps illuminate some fungi, but like a shed.
I mean, they're fun guys. Shed glasses are real. I mean,
guys, yeah.
The people I sell them. This is real. So I apparently live under a rock.
Does it drop a pin in your Google Maps?
They make mushrooms stand out. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
I also find it funny that in this room tonight we've got the dog, the shed dog. We got the shed master over here.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is.
Sam, I mean, if
Sammy-
he's nothing, he's
Sammy the
fashionable when he goes shed hunting. He's
Very
got radio.
fashionable.
I don't know who he's waiting. Like,
Very fashionable.
he's got the picture. He's got the walkie-talkie. Like, who are you calling?
I thought that was his
He was
inReach.
calling me in case he fell down or
I
something.
thought it was his inReach just in case he needed an emergency.
Fell down. What are you climbing?
The hills where we were, yeah.
So we got the dog who's at 0 on the year.
0.
We got the master who's at 1. And we got old Slammin' Sammy who's at 2.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, you're at 2 for sure.
I will find my first one.
He's at 2.
I have to fly to
We
Nashville
got
on Sunday. I will
JJ's
find my
got the
first one.
biggest one of the year.
This is the most important one though. This is a $15 shed. This is a Chipotle. We have a bet.
Oh yeah, the old shed bet. All
Me
these
and
guys
JJ
do is
have a
talk about
bet.
sheds. It's crazy. These guys are nuts. It's nuts.
Sammy found a good one.
I love shed hunting. These guys they're nutty.
Well, the
They're-
good news
they're
is I picked up old browse that I shot in September from the taxidermist. And
That was a good feeling.
2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I sent you a picture. I got a picture which has to be his offspring. Another
That's right.
like mainframe looking 8-pointer, and then it's just got this extra beam coming off out of nowhere, and it's like 5 inches. It's like 2-year-old deer. I'm really excited. There's some goofy genetics around me, but I'm hoping I can find his shed.
On your 4 acres?
Yes.
Never know. I mean,
If he's hanging out there, I got radishes the size of a damn
so
bat.
I hate to break it to you, but where you live, the deer historically there, because I lived close, have about a 5-mile radius that they literally go everywhere in every direction.
Well, you never know.
The odds of you finding that shed on your property, I don't even know what they are, but they're bad. Put some fun guys on, you got 50% better chance.
Okay, well, yeah,
But,
need the glasses or goggles. Let's put a bet on it. If I find it,
Oh,
Oh,
I want action. Yeah.
yeah, I want to bet on
Yeah.
this.
I don't like it. Never mind.
Yeah, it's a terrible
Move
idea.
along.
I mean, the cool thing about hunting urban ground is that there's a lot of deer. The uncool part is that they have to come to you. Like, you have no other choice. You can't go get them. You can't be strategic. It's like, here's my food plot, here's my stand. Hopefully they come by me, which they do. But shed hunting is a little tougher
Yeah.
because you just can't grid.
They got to come out into my food plot.
They got
Yes.
to,
Grr. Shed.
which, how'd that work again?
They shake them off.
Is that what they do?
Yeah. I've seen them.
All right.
Seen it.
All right.
Well, the other thing is we got a big event this week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Pretty pumped. Shot for Hope. This is our
4th or 5th or 6th.
new. We went there the first year.
6th year.
So this is our 6th year going to Shot for Hope.
I still haven't won anything yet.
I won a sign. It said, "We interrupt this marriage to bring you hunting season." Mel doesn't like it. It's in my office, but they're awesome. And our good buddy Brandon actually nominated one of last year's recipients, which was really cool. But again, like the thing continues where they don't have enough kids getting nominated to go on hunts.
It's fair.
It's crazy.
It's fair.
And it's kids with, illness or life-altering things that have happened in their life. Like, they want to take you on your dream hunt, and literally you dream it, you do it. The one kid went and shot a bison. It looked awesome. So, like, literally, that's what he wanted to go do. It's like, go do it then. Like, Pyre's kid that he nominated shot an elk. They bring the whole family. They world class. It's awesome. So,
It's cool. Yeah.
super proud to support it. But like, if you know anybody, any kids that have been impacted, like, go to Shot for Hope and nominate them.
Or
They
reach,
need more
reach out
kids.
to us and we can help you nominate them.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
So
It's a
we're
cool
pumped.
deal,
It's a fun event. We're gonna go. We're gonna win some stuff this year. Mike, the only thing he won is he silent auction.
I did.
Freaking hunt to Africa. Whoops.
I forgot about that.
Is that winning?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it
Technically, he
was.
won.
Ringed it.
I don't know that it was winning. I mean, it was.
He didn't lose.
It was amazing.
Yeah, you didn't-
Africa was one of those places like, nope, never want to go. So thankfully, like, it forced us to go, and it was the best thing ever. It was not anything what you expected to be. I don't know that it's considered winning though, because when you win the hunt, you're like, oh my god, I got a great deal, and then all the expenses are incurred.
The dude that was on line
Afterwards.
17 and you came in on line 18
Oh,
and
we were
outbid him.
pumped.
He was the real
He was like,
that night.
oh, he won. He's like, oh god, thank you.
Didn't tell his wife.
Got these guys.
The good news for Mike is like his wife was there.
Yeah, it was her fault.
She's like, yeah, let's go.
I had nobody to blame. I
Yeah.
just was.
She was pushing you to go.
She was all about it. Yeah. Which, amen, brother, man. Like, I did something right there. But yeah, it was. I recommend it to anybody. You should do it once.
I want to go on a stag hunt in Argentina.
Do 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 do. I may be doing that too.
I know. I
You wish what?
wish I would have been invited. I was.
Awkward.
He was. He declined.
I
And
declined.
now it's full.
Now I'm pissed.
Yeah, that's how life works.
I am going to kill big elk though in
I
Colorado.
hope you do. I'll be there to witness it. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Well,
Be sweet.
shall we?
Should we kick?
I mean, we're 15 minutes in, and I'm gonna drop a little. We got 5. We have 5 products to talk about.
Should I grab the first one?
So I think we talk about Yeah, so we're not in no particular order here, but as you know about us, our goal every year when we launch new products is to fill a gap that we don't currently have filled. If you are a customer, a family member, a friend, whatever you are, if we haven't been able to solve your problem yet,
Scratch that itch.
we're going to try to solve it. So everything that we're launching here in the next 45 minutes solves problems. And I will say this too, the beautiful thing about this is we saw your list of recommendations, and we've already got a full hopper of products in line for next year. So that's just kind of how we do things. We keep pumping things out, and if you don't see it now, maybe you'll see it in the future, but our goal is to always make sure that every single little area is filled. Like last year we launched the liquids, which were huge for us and huge for everybody to make it a lot easier to fertilize and lime and do all the things. So this year's no different. 5 products that all fill a hole that we have in our assortment. So without further ado,
We have two new pounders.
we'll do the pounders first, just because they're little guys, not because they're.
I mean, don't come at them about their size.
It's fair. Yeah, I mean, one of these pounders is actually going to be in a 48-pound bag too.
Well, this first one right here.
Yeah, this guy. So buckwheat is something that we've been using for a while, obviously. We've got it in mother load, but it's a product that is an incredible thing to plant in the spring or in the summer. You're going to eat it, but it's going to mature in 60 to 70 days. Awesome weed suppressant. Great product to plant in the spring, help your soil, but also you can plant into it. It grows so fast it literally outgrows weeds. And this will be available in 48-pound bags as well, so we can ship it easily on our website or pick up here at the shop. But it's something that obviously 1 pound of buckwheat doesn't go very far because it's 40 to 50 pounds an acre. But at the same time, with all of our pounders,
Mix it.
you can add it to something.
Mix it in, help your clovers get established, or if you're planting your brassicas, because it does germinate faster and tends to grow up faster, and then you'll see that all of a sudden your buckwheat in your plot is just all nipped off
There you
once
go.
it gets to that level of maturity,
Yep.
which means if they're grazing on that, they're not grazing on maybe some of your more immature plants that are starting to come up.
Absolutely.
And it's tremendously good for your soil.
And people are always looking for, what can I plant in the spring to get me to fall? Whether it's mother load or overhaul or clovers or whatever it is, another great option. Get it in there, suppress the weeds, help the soil, feed the deer, get ready for fall.
Not a frost seeding.
Do not frost seed it, no.
We get asked that a lot of like, can we, put no BS or some of those. Basically, the like rule of thumb on frost seeding is like clover.
Yeah,
Like
clover chicory,
Clover or chicory can be
Switchgrass.
frost seeded. Switchgrass can be,
which
but,
our RC Big Rock, perfect for frost seeding.
yeah.
So, Jake wants one.
Jake, can you turn
Oh, the
your?
book.
Somebody's got some volume.
Oh, it's probably me.
It's probably Mike.
I'm almost.
It's like I got really acute hearing. I hear like a hawk.
I was the volume guy.
Do hawks have good hearing?
I don't-
I just said
they have
I
good
hear like
eyes.
a hawk. I don't know. Maybe they're deafer and
I
shit.
was gonna
Do you
say,
smell like a hawk too?
I have a feeling that hawks actually probably smell pretty good.
Not like turkeys.
Turkeys kind of stink.
I mean, actually smell.
Oh,
Like your beak. Smell.
I thought you meant like, does
Turkeys
a hawk have a little bit of stank to it? Like,
No.
it's a pretty clean bird.
Did you just say turkeys smell pretty good?
No, bad.
bad.
Oh.
No, you said that.
Yeah, they can't smell at all.
No, I'm not talking
when you-
about a turkey smelling you. I'm talking about the actual smell of a turkey.
I know. I was talking about
If you get a good 28-pound tom, that sucker's not smelling good.
28-pounder. So the other day in my wingman and oat plot in the backyard, I had 20 toms and 4 jakes.
I don't know what the hell I got
20.
going on around my house. I had like
insane.
47 hens. There's no, there was not a beard in
I
sight.
have all the.
Mike's got all the toms.
So anybody on the domain team that has a tag this year, it's game over.
Come schwack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Should we do our second pounder?
Let's do it. All right, another one we've been clamoring for, alfalfa. This is a variety called Shift. It's a multi-leaf, very cold tolerant, very hardy, easy to establish. The nice thing about alfalfa is once you establish it, lasts a very long time with minimal maintenance, can handle drought, can handle just about anything. And again, it's something that you could easily plant on its own and be everything you need, or You could integrate it into Comeback Kid to increase, the amount of alfalfa in that, because right now Comeback Kid really doesn't have a ton of alfalfa in it. But like I said, it's a variety of shift. It's a really, really premium alfalfa that, I had some alfalfa down on the lease, and deer were in that thing through December. It was a really, really neat option.
Another good option too to mix in with your Big Sexy like any of your stuff that you traditionally plant in the fall, to just put it out, and then next spring, instead of having dirt, and you're going to have good forage coming up. And once it establishes, you're right, it takes hold for sure.
We often talk about it through social media and on our podcasts and just in the shop, how often people overlook perennials. They focus on bulbs and greens and grains and all these things, and then they say, oh man, I got too many deer and they're eating it all, and how do I handle grays? Well, the answer might not be sexy, but perennials is typically the answer.
Well, look at what the work we did in Target Field at Proving Grounds.
For sure.
We've done a couple of years now converting that in between. We planted Sugar Mama the first year, came back, we frost seeded it the next spring, we frost seeded it again. We're going to have to do it again. But so many deer out there.
Yep.
And they can just tolerate so much more graze pressure than a standard brassica plot.
Absolutely. The only thing you have to be careful with alfalfa is seeding alfalfa into alfalfa. It's going to kind of protect itself. So if you have alfalfa already established, we don't always recommend frost seeding into it, because it's going to protect itself and it's not going to allow that new alfalfa seed to grow. So you can frost seed it into a clover plot or a chicory plot, something of that nature. So it can work really well frost seeding, as long as you're not doing it into a current stand of alfalfa. So
what type of coating are we talking about on this?
It's a nitro coat, again, to help with germination. Perennials germ a little bit slower. So typically when you use something like nitro coat, you're going to get a quicker germ, so that in turn you get faster establishment, can outpace the weeds. If there's ever a knock on perennials per se, it is they are slower to grow. A plant that lasts longer, in other words, lasts 3, 4, 5 years, is slower to establish, because it grows down and then it grows up. So that's why a lot of times we'll put a coating on it. It also honestly helps you see it. When you're planting that, you can see the coverage you're getting, and on a smaller seed, trust me, we've all been there with little like a showstopper or brassica seeds. They're hard to see. So we only coat the perennials that require it or are assisted by it. So the shift alfalfa has that as well. But again, really good winter durability, really dense multi-leaf alfalfa. It's a really, really solid product to add to our line. So now we've got, I don't even know, what do we have, 8, 10 pounders, Jake?
I think it's 10.
I honestly don't know. We had a couple every year.
It is 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 8.
And
but remember too with your pounders, like, because everyone always asks, and we're kind of the same way too, right? You go like, oh, I get something off the shelf, like I want to make it unique, I want to make it mine, and what can I add to this mix to like change it up or spruce it up? The important thing with any of the pounders is you're mixing it in. Like if you wanted to put buckwheat in, or you wanted to put alfalfa or any of the other pounders we sell, just mind your seed rates. Like if you have a jug of Big Sexy that's meant to plant a half acre of seed, and then you add 2 pounders of other mix, you're going to overseed. So just the caution there of just mind your seed rate still if you are going to mix these in. But they can have really good use cases, especially something like a buckwheat, like in the spring, adding it in even with your clovers and stuff like that to like get it up and going and keep the pressure off those like fresh clover browse. So
also too, this will be in a 48 pounder. And I think we'll have a big gulp of alfalfa too. It's a 2 acre. So got some options in some bigger quantities, which we haven't provided in the past, just because those are types of mixes where you sometimes want to plant acreage instead of a 40th of an acre, like with the buckwheat. So pretty cool. Shall we?
Love it.
Go to the next one. Last year we launched kind of our first habitat style of mix. It was really kind of a niche mix called Dirty Bird that handled or was designed to break up food plots and offer upland and turkeys and doves and things of that nature. And this year we launched another one. Timmy, I'll let you do the honor here. I love the name of this one. Makes me giggle every time I see it.
We bring you Landing Strip.
You gotta love Landing Strip for the ducks, obviously.
Yeah,
100%.
But Landing Strip is just that. I mean, it's a variety of three varieties of millet and sorghum designed to plant and then flood for your waterfowl. Again, it's a habitat style mix, and that's kind of how we position it. It's a very, very niche type of mix, going to grow 4 to 5 feet tall. Grows very quickly, easy to establish, can handle just about anything. But in the waterfowl world or areas where you try to attract them, growing it, flooding it. That's the goal. Doesn't have to be planted that way. You could literally break up your food plot with it. The deer are going to eat the heads. The pheasants absolutely love it. Trust me, one of my buddies, Luke, planted a bunch. And I said, hey, man, get down there and take some pictures for us. So he climbed in there and was taking some pictures, and a hen pheasant literally flew out from between his legs and about made him shite himself.
Gave him a heart attack.
So it's, like I said, it's another habitat style mix. And really, if you have reached out to us in the last 12 months and you're working on your property and trying to make it better, we oftentimes recommend the switchgrasses, the dirty birds, the landing strips to help improve the habitat for everything. Not just your deer. Your deer are going to use it, but it's going to help everything. Your turkeys.
Well, there's also
upland bird,
those areas that like we get asked all the time where they want to plant something to provide cover and forage, but they're like, it sometimes floods, it sometimes gets a little wet.
Yep.
Like, if you're kind of on the edge of like some of that swampy area or whatever, like it's branded as like waterfall habitat, but that doesn't mean just for ducks or geese. Like that means like it's habitat, right? Yep. So that could be another really good option for this is like you have that area that it's dry, you can get it planted, but you're like, hey, it does flood. Like, there you go. There's a perfect mix for you to put in and provide good forage, good cover.
Absolutely.
Like we found a lot, even on our property, is just they bed in that stuff a lot. Like they 100%. Just lay down. Like yes, it's forage for them, but 4 or 5 feet tall, like they're going to bed down and have good cover.
And John asked if it's a perennial. I don't know if you meant the alfalfa or the landing strip. The alfalfa is a perennial. The landing strip is not a perennial. But the other cool thing, we haven't had it lately, but when you get snow on it, millet and sorghum stand very erect, tall, whatever you want to call it.
You got to start talking erect when you're talking landing strip.
Just saying. Just kind of fit in there. But the beauty of it is when you get snow, hey, when you talk about switchgrass, you talk about how it can stand erect. Say it without laughing. I dare you.
Switchgrass erect.
The beauty of it is
no big deal.
You have vertical food for deer. The heads of this, again, are high in energy. So the seeds are in the top, for those of you that haven't seen it before. So when it's cold, when it's snowy, that's when those seed heads are most valuable for both birds and deer. So it can really provide vertical forage when it's cold. So late season food, if you're hunting that late season, December, January time period in Wisconsin or Illinois or Iowa, where it can get just nasty, it becomes a lot more than just waterfowl. So while it's got a duck on the name or on the front in the name, it's very much like Dirty Bird, where when we launched Dirty Bird, we thought it was an upland bird mix. Boy. Once we started using it and integrating it, it became so much more than that. Just how people use it, how we used it, all the animals and feathered friends that benefited from it. And this is very similar to that. So we will have a big gulp of it. And I will mention, too, everything that we launch, it's live immediately. So you can go on our website, you can check it out, read up on it, order it. We typically run a promo where the first person that orders every one of the new products gets a free hat. So whoever that is, you'll get a free hat.
Boom. Well, we should talk about that. I mean,
well, let's talk about it. Talk about it.
Oh, who doesn't like a free hat?
Which hat? Which hat?
Whatever hat they want. I don't know. What do we got in stock?
They get a pick.
Ooh. We get to pick or they get to pick?
The dog gets to pick.
The dog.
Oh, the dog.
Oh, boy. Every time the dog gives stuff away, it's just like, give it all!
Yeah. Here's the shop.
It's funny, I'm not allowed in the shop very often.
Who's James Draws? Tim loves a good landing strip to tickle the schnoz.
That is aggressive.
I think he's made fun of you before. I don't know who he is, but that's funny. Ooh,
That's good.
Jeepers kittens, Timmy would say.
What are we doing here?
All right, so we've got buckwheat in the pounder and the 48. We've got alfalfa in the pounder and the 2 acre. We've got landing strip in the 1/4 acre and the acre. So 3 holes that we needed to fill. And we did, thankfully. Erect, holes to fill, landing strip.
Oh my God.
Things are getting weird.
Oh my God.
Oh, what should we do next?
I just want to go home. I need to lay down.
Timmy can't handle it anymore. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Here before we get to the next couple, we should mention that.
this next one's freaking big.
Yeah, this one's tough for
We might
Timmy.
have to get JJ back.
We
to lift this thing.
things are gonna break. We did have a nice little promo on our Facebook page today at about 5:00 Central Time, where if you commented on there, you got to win the product of your choice. 2 random winners. I'm gonna have JJ randomly select those folks in his randomizer on his phone. So if you're one of those people, sweet, you're gonna be able to choose whichever one of the 5 new products you want, and we'll send it to you. So after we launch them all, we'll have those selections. So thanks everybody who participated in that and offered insight on what you thought we were going to launch. It's always fun to see kind of what you're thinking. Sometimes it aligns, sometimes it doesn't. So with no further ado,
I mean,
can you physically lift the next one up here?
should we just take one quick sip of Hop and Barrel?
Shall we? Oh yeah, one more thing, stop. This is year 2 of Hop and Barrel.
Yeah.
And so for me, if you know me, I'm kind of a wuss, and I prefer the lemon breaker. Everyone makes fun of me for drinking it, and then they start drinking it.
No one here.
Just ask.
They have a bunch
It's
of
fair.
awesome. They have a new what was the name of it? Oh, it's gonna come back to me later.
Must be good.
It was a hazy, and it's really good.
Is that Crooked Grin?
Crooked Grin's like one
That's
of their
their
top
number one
sellers.
seller. I know that.
Crooked Grin is
Saint Black.
unbelievable. I'm gonna think of it, but I bought a 6-pack of it the other day and brought it
Oh,
home for
man.
Mel because she likes hazies, and then they all disappeared. I drank them.
I didn't know you drank anything that wasn't Minnetonka.
Or Coors Light.
Well, yeah.
There it is.
But yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's do
Dog up
it.
here.
We got old Muscle Man here to get the next one up here.
Better get his paws on you.
He's gonna break something. Oh God. Oh, here you go.
Need a little help
Here
here.
it is. All right, so last year we launched our forage oats with Tractor Supply. This year we launched 3-way grains for everybody. At the end of the day, like, we needed a grain product, just grains only. So this is winter rye, winter wheat, winter oats that you can plant on its own, September, October, November, depending on where you live, or mix with any one of our products. So 40-pound bag, plants a half acre. Like I said, it's varieties of winter wheat, winter rye, winter oats, super cold tolerant. It will stay green well into the winter. It'll survive, and it'll be green in the spring. So it can offer an awesome option to plant alongside your Big Sexy in the fall, and then frost seed into it in the spring. Again, it was a hole that we completely didn't have a fill for, if you will. We have Hall Pass, obviously, which has a whole bunch of stuff in it. But for somebody that just wants to plant a quote-unquote green field, this is the perfect option for it. You can plant it from an airplane. It's as easy to plant as anything. So it's easier to plant than it is for Timmy to lift it. So
It was pretty heavy for me. But I will say I'm on a new workout regimen.
yeah, Timmy's doing a 40-mile race in September. So
Yeah.
Mountain biking?
Yeah. So there's this concept. I'll sidetrack us for a second. There's this concept called misogi. And it's not great. Strand keyed me onto this book. He's like, you got to read this book. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, misogi is doing something once a year that's so hard that it defines the other 364 days of your life. we're doing a 40-mile mountain bike ride, and I was like, well, that seems pretty easy. Like, I could gut through it. And he's like, oh, it's like old ski hills and stuff. Like there's like multiple mountains.
You gotta bust out your mongoose.
I'm like, this is not good.
So it's like
but
actually mountain biking.
It's actual mountain biking, but it's in northern Wisconsin, so you're not talking like the Swiss Alps here. But the book's called The Comfort Crisis. It's awesome. But Muskogee. So now I got to get on the ton.
There you go.
So
What's your Muskogee, Jake?
You've been biking around?
20 miles a week, so hopefully it doesn't take him 2 weeks to do his 40-mile race.
No,
Did you take your pegs off?
20 miles the first week on the Peloton. I've got to ramp it up.
So at this rate, it's going to be it should be
Last
great.
week, in
He'll be up
fairness,
there for 2 weeks.
Colton went to daycare and brought the cold into the house, or some kind of illness. Mel doesn't believe in the man cold. Do you guys believe in the man cold?
I mean,
Like, the man cold is a real thing. Mel's claims she got the same virus that I got because Colton brought it into the house. Mine was some weird strain of it because it kicked my ass. I had a man cold.
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Anyways, back to three-way grains.
My Muskogee is to plant more three-way grains this year. It's going to change the other 364 days of my life.
There you go.
Mine's the fine 54 sheds this
Ooh,
spring.
54.
That's not going to define your other 364 days, Jake.
It will be like 64 of his days.
Yeah.
Mike really tried to tie us back into what we were talking about, and Jake just
What?
right
Right
off.
back into the shetty.
Sorry.
He just said he's relentless.
Have you ever seen the picture of the skull and it's got like a deer head in it? Jake's literally has an antler in it. I think there's an antler in his brain.
That's all there is.
Yeah, that might be it.
You know what's funny is when we were testing this product and we launched it in Tractor Supply and we were going, it was like, oh, like every one of the plots that Dad planted this year
Oh, that was forage oats, yeah.
had just forage oats
Yeah.
just rocking, but it's such a good plant. It's a good cover crop. It's good, like, put it in the fall. It's going to grow and stay green into the winter. But this is just like definitely something you can add, especially like if you have big areas to cover, or you have kind of areas where you're like, man, like I only want to get one jug of seed. Like I don't want to spend all this money. Like this is a really affordable way to put good forage down across a big sweeping area that's going to last late into the season for you.
Yep. Like with our forage oats, the best way to plant forage oats, in my opinion, is plant them late, hunt them early, hunt them the first 60 days. With this mix, you're going to get more cold tolerance with the winter wheat, the winter rye. That again, you can plant it late, and you can still hunt it late. And I saw somebody make a point out here that was 100% accurate. It's a great backup plan.
Yep.
When something happens, you could plant this in October in Wisconsin, November and December down south. So typically with grains, and again, it's just my opinion, but you're way better off planting them late than you are early. People, me included, often like to rush and plant as soon as you can. Like we had people sending us pictures of forage oats in July. That's 2 months too early in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And this is no different. Like you don't need to rush. They're going to germinate in a day or two. They're going to grow extremely fast. So if I could provide any advice, it would be with our forage oats, with the three-way grains, push it back as far as you can. There's really no benefit to planting it early unless you're just using it as a nurse crop, which is then it's a fantastic option. Both of those are great nurse crop plants because they're going to grow super fast. They're going to suppress weeds. They're going to allow slower growing things to come alongside of them. But for hunting purposes, if they're on their own, push them back late.
Well, even look at this year, like we had a bunch of really good plots coming in because we do content weekend every year at the Proving Grounds, and those of you that have been following us for a while have seen a lot of the videos and the success we've had, but like failures, like this year the lower field, we didn't do much footage down there. Like those plots were coming in awesome.
70 days of no rain.
And then it just did not rain. And like, here's a prime example of like, you're sitting there and it's late September and you're like, you want food source down there.
Totally.
Like, go put it in there. It's still going to grow. You're going to have food source versus like literally nothing. Like that. Those plots like were coming in great, but you can't go 70 days without rain.
Yep.
Like they just did not produce the way we needed it to, and it shifted our hunting this year. And it's like, nope, like put it in, get them established, and you'll at least have some level of food source down there for them. So
Totally. I know Jakey Boy planted some of this on one of his 17 leases. So, what's your feedback there, Jake, with integrating some grains kind of into your brassica program?
Well, I remember I was sending you pictures right away, and I'm like, man, is this what it's supposed to look like? And you're like, yeah, just give it time. And it was a couple weeks.
It's all grains? It is.
A couple weeks later, I was like, holy shit, this looks amazing. And my deer they were in it heavy. I mean, I had Green Machine up top, the 3-way grains, and then, I don't know, it was Big Sexy, but they're,
Radishes, too.
yeah, they're in it.
And I remember the pictures. We'll share them later, but all you could see as it was growing was like 4-inch grasses, grains,
Yeah.
and sand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It just not the perfect of conditions. So it was a pretty cool testament. And
And it's cool, they're in there right now. I mean, digging, there's a little bit of snow left, but they're in there eating them, so.
it's been a strange winter, too. It got super cold early, and now it's warm. So it's been a year where you've kind of wanted to have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's been kind of a tough year on plants in general. So, but again, are you physically able?
Well, you always brag that you're stronger
Well,
than
I'm
me.
going to move it over to Jakey Boy over
I
here.
only do at-home workouts.
20 miles a week, baby. Jake he just one arms it over there. He did 20 miles this morning.
It's like the way to Everett.
Whew, all
arming
right. So we got our buckwheat, 48 pound, 1 pound. Alfalfa, 1 pound, big gulp. Landing strip, quarter acre, big gulp. 3-way, 40 pound bag. These are all live on our website right now. Free hat for the first person that orders each one, whoever that is. Good for you. Appreciate it. We've also got stores that already are carrying some of this stuff.
We're missing these two.
Oh, there's only one we're missing.
Yeah.
There's one more to go.
Okay.
Timmy?
I got a little nervous.
I'm
there's-
excited.
Some of our local dealers already have these. A1's already got it in stock.
We saw 'em.
Hartman's Hardware and Piers has it. Quincy Farm and Home, Fleet Farm, Runnings. So these have been shipping. They're on store shelves. There's one more that we haven't mentioned yet, but and then we've got about a half dozen in the hopper for next year. We might have a May launch and we might have a July launch.
Ooh.
July launch gets me excited.
There's a lot going on.
I know
So,
what the July launch is, and it gets me.
they're both pretty cool.
Gets you juiced.
The July one's going to be pretty cool, pretty special. May is going to be pretty special too.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be above average.
But we got one more to do tonight.
I don't know where it is because it is not.
The best name of them all.
I didn't even know there was a secondary shelf underneath.
Jake, how many have you named?
Is this 3? I mean, 3-way grains was partially,
That's a half and half.
yeah, so,
I don't know that anybody gets credit for that one.
okay, I guess.
I
3?
take credit for
What was-
Big Sexy
What
though.
was number 2? Number 1.
Oh, God. Oh, pregame I had.
Oh, pregame. Yeah, okay.
Pre-game.
What was the first one you
Great color scheme
named?
on that one, though.
I guess it is. This is only 2.
I
Yeah,
named-
because 3-way was going to be 3.
Chick, comeback kid, green machine.
So 2.5.
Big Sexy.
Yeah. No,
No
BS.
BS.
False. Nice try. How many you got, Sammy?
Dose.
Which ones?
Elbow grease and dirty bird.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah, this was going to be.
I got
3-way was going to be 3.
Landing strip was one of my better ones.
How about when we launched?
Yeah.
That
was a good one.
Recharge and Bad Habit.
That was a good one.
I was in the
How many times
boat.
have we heard this story?
Do you even care about your deer?
Shut down.
Just stone cold.
This is not even gonna say it. Come to the shop. It's gonna be fun.
I'm glad you're getting picked on. I'm always the guy who gets picked on.
Yeah, well, it serves you right.
It's funny. Timmy's on the flip side of it. He don't like it.
I need a turnip hat.
This
Timmy's
was-
a turnip hat.
This was Jakey Boy's second, for sure second.
For sure, second.
He had this one for a while. Worked hard on it, and then he hit it. I'm excited about this one. This was kind of a hole in our assortment for a while. It has so many obvious functions, but one of it's soil health, which is something that every year we try to elaborate on more and more. At the end of the day, the plants are going to grow as good as the soil will let them.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's why we launched our liquid products last year. And
Ooh, the denominator. Brian Durr coming in hot.
Grr.
We already got the next seed name.
Love that. Oh boy. Oh boy. The boys are always full of good ideas.
Are they good?
JJ named our May launch.
That is true.
Yeah. Great name too. Excited about that one.
Turd burglar.
Third burglar. All right, so let's do it. Number 5 for the night, and our last one is clutch clover.
Mic drop.
Boom. Is it center stage there? So what we lacked in our assortment, so we've got Comeback Kid, which is our foundational clover mix. It's your 5-year, high protein, lasts literally forever, tons of forage. We've got Hot Chick that is kind of the gritty, hardy, planted on logging roads, backwoods plots, like the infamous Jake video back on Timmy's property. But what we didn't have was a really fast growing annual clover mix that is the perfect, I guess, spring planting for a fall annual. So plant in the spring or frost seed it or plant in the fall. It fixates nitrogen. It adds a whole lot of biomass, builds up the soil for that next planting. So it's a variety of Berseem, a variety of Blanza, a variety of crimson clover.
Crimson, yep.
So bunch of nitrogen fixers to then feed your round Nebraskas. So somebody asks you, can I plant Big Sexy 3 years in a row? Well, you can, but you better plant clutch clover every spring. Or mix it with Comeback Kid. It's the fastest growing clover mix I've ever planted. You know, what we frosted it last year, and in May it was a foot tall. I mean, it was insane. So again, it was a mix that we just didn't have. And it doesn't take away from Comeback Kid or Hot Chick. It's a very, very, very different product.
Yeah, well, a lot of times you think about it, like we've been trying to establish your like year-long, like perennial, like clover plots. Like you want them to keep coming back. Like you could use this to help establish it. Even like if you're going in and you're frost seeding Comeback Kid. Well, Comeback Kid's going to take a while to establish. Well, mix in some clutch clover, which is going to grow faster, help give you that kind of immediate satisfaction
100%.
in year one, because typically year one clover plots are kind of like, they're pretty good. Year 2 is when they get better. Year 3 is when they get better. You keep frost seeding into them. But this is also a mix that you could add in that you go, all right, well, I'm going to put Big Sexy in this fall or late summer, and I want clovers to come in next spring. This is one of those that you can put in.
Totally.
And then next spring you don't have just dirt, you have some clover, but then you're not like, oh man, like now I'm in a year 2 clover plot. I don't want to disrupt it. Maybe I should just frost seed more clover. No, you can go in, till it in that fall and put your annuals.
It's going to cut down on your nitrogen costs too. I mean, still use your freight train, but this is going to cut down on the amount of nitrogen you're going to need. That's kind of the beauty of it. It's a natural way to make the soil more fertile. So it's an excellent option. However, don't expect more than a year out of it. Don't try to push it. That's not what it's designed for. So,
I was gonna say, hit on the mowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a one mow. That's all you're going to get out of it. You mow it once.
Careful with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not designed
Talk about how we tested
to
it.
grow for a long period of time. Yeah, I mean, Jake was there.
You said it was, when we checked on it, it was lush, beautiful. Went in there and mowed it, and it was, a week or 2 later, we went back. It's like, oh shit, what happened?
It does not come back like a perennial does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not what it's designed for. It's designed to grow really fast, provide a ton of protein in that spring summer period, and then move on to the next because it fixates nitrogen. It adds a bunch of biomass to the soil. It's really good for your soil, and the perfect option, to get you into more brassicas every single year. Kind of be that rotational piece that we get asked all the time. What can I plant in this plot in the spring? I want to plant, my hunt plot in the fall. What can I plant? Mother load's a great option. Does the same thing. Fixates nitrogen, suppresses weeds, feeds deer. Clutch clover, same deal, just different type of product. So
what's better, having a brassica food plot just sit in dirt all summer, and then you have antler growth happening, you have fawns, you have does that just came off a hard winter, like you give them some really good nutrient rich food, then all of a sudden, boom, you get it back into your brassica plot again.
Protein is the catalyst. Like, it's what makes everything go. Antler growth, body growth, fetal development, milk production. Protein is the common denominator there. And again, to your point, I've said this a million times, you'll probably get sick of me saying it, but I always use the fridge theory. If Timmy gets home tonight and the fridge is empty, Timmy's going to the Willow to get a pizza.
Yeah. Or a Coors, because if it...
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
you never know.
Oh, yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
or the pizza. But.
Or a Minnesotan. But anyways, but same thing for your property. So many of us, me included, I've got one food plot. If that thing's not full of food all year, I'm an idiot. Because the deer are going to be at my neighbors. Why wouldn't they be? If I don't give them food, why would they be there?
Yeah.
So I always say, like, if you can plant it, plant it. Because for a lot of us, if you have one food source or one food plot, build that into their system early. Know that Tim's property is where I go to eat.
Yep.
Right? They're going to just, there's deer trails for a reason because they do the same thing every day, right? So if your property has food in the spring and summer and fall, that's where they're going to be. And Clutch and Motherlode and those spring, summer types of products, in my opinion, are just as important for your property as the ones in the fall. You're building those, building that food factor at your place.
I have a question. Can you mix Clutch Clover with Comeback Kid?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a perfect companion crop because it's going to grow fast like you've seen. Grow fast, provide greenery, allow the Comeback Kid to grow a little bit slower, suppress weeds. Over time, those annuals will kind of fade away and the perennials will take over.
And you mow it just like a normal clover.
Yeah, and like I said, this doesn't handle mowing like your Comeback Kid comes back stronger every time you mow it. This doesn't necessarily, because these are annuals, so they're not designed to
I'd recommend that getting taller.
continue to come back and come back and come back like Comeback Kid.
Let it grow.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, you mix them 1-to-1. It's perfect because humans, what do we love? Instant satisfaction. Mm-hmm. That's why we love brassicas. You can plant them in a week. 2 weeks later, it's like, oh my God, my plot's awesome. Clovers, not so much. You're better off planting Comeback Kid and forgetting about it. So if you mix this in with it, you're going to get a little bit more instant satisfaction. Deer are going to graze on it. The Comeback Kid is going to have time to grow. Comeback Kid, in my opinion, is our most important mix.
Yep.
It's the one that's always going to be available. And I tell you what, it's as cold tolerant as anything too. So it's as cold tolerant as any brassica we have.
Oh, you can look at gun season at the farm. Like
Totally.
It was all green, all through there. There are deer all over in it.
Yeah, I mean, like we talk to hundreds of customers a day, and everybody overlooks perennials.
Yep.
Like
Don't overlook them.
They're as good as anything. This is not a perennial, obviously, but it can be mixed with them to help them establish. So.
And you can plant it on logging roads.
100%. Yeah. I mean, you could mix it with hot chick on a logging road too.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to grow fast. It's shade tolerant. You're just not going to get multiple years with it like you will with Comeback Kid or hot chick. But there isn't a product we have that you can't mix this with. I mean, mix it with Overhaul. Overhaul already does kind of what this is, but it would integrate more into it. So you can mix it with buckwheat, mix it with alfalfa. I don't know if you'd mix it with landing strip, but you can mix it with three-way.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's options, and that's kind of the beauty of our deal.
I'm kind of Brian Durr texts me.
He's messing with these. He's got his book coming out.
Did you read the top of it?
I didn't read it, but he's probably making fun of you.
It happens to be a picture.
I gotta read this out loud.
Oh God.
So every year down at Whitetail Crossing, Tim doesn't kill a deer. That's about the only.
Does he see a shooter?
I don't know.
He saw one shooter.
I think Tim
I've
sleeps.
literally seen one shooter.
You're
So
one.
this year in the book it says, disclaimer: as usual, there is no big buck story to talk about on Tim's page, but it will be entertaining. I guarantee you, it's going to be a picture of you in the blind.
Yes.
Oh, I hope
No,
so.
you can
So
see.
Tim
you can see the blind.
Tim made a
Yes.
fatal mistake.
Oh yeah.
It was like 85 degrees one day. It was hot.
Me and Anthony were sitting in a
And what you never do is, this isn't Snapchat. Like Snapchat, you can send a picture and just go, it disappears. But when you're using iPhones, when you send a picture of something, everyone actually still has it. So Tim sent a picture with no shirt on, prior to his workout routines of the 40-mile biking and all that BS. He had face paint on that was just like smeared and sweaty. He had his binocs on and just shirtless. It was something.
Making the book.
And now it's going to be in the book. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, it had to.
It's weird. It's weird. All right. So we're approaching an hour here. Those are our 5 products. They're all live. In the next few days, we'll continue to have some posts online about each and every one of them, kind of what they offer your property. We have a couple other things coming up here. So first of all, we got JJ's giveaway here. So if you commented on our page earlier, you were entered in the giveaway. 2 winners. You get to select the product of your choice. JJ, who's winner number 1?
Nathan Johnson.
Nathan Johnson. Send us a message at info@ and tell us what you want and your address, and it'll be on your doorstep on Monday.
Stephen Hogan.
And Stephen Hogan. I've heard that name before. I think he's in North Carolina. Big supporter. Stephen, let us know. Message us which one you want, and we'll send it to you. JJ will probably have a handwritten love note in there, or Megan, one of the two. And then also, too.
Where is Megan tonight? This is our first Beers and Bucks with
Yeah.
Megan employed.
She claimed that she had to go work at her other job.
She's slinging drinks tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck? I know. She could be slinging drinks right here.
Yeah.
What the heck? Right?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I do have one more. Before we sign off, I have one more announcement to keep your eyes open for. We got something pretty special brewing here. Starting March 1st and running through April, we're going to have our largest giveaway ever. You'll figure out how to enter here in the next couple weeks. But we're giving away an all expenses paid rut hunt to Homegrown Outfitters in Kansas. November 2nd to the 7th in 2026. Lodging, food, everything.
I want in.
You can't win.
I already tried.
Yeah, Jake already tried. He got shot down. So pay attention.
Do
So
you guys understand how big a bucks they killed on there?
this is a 200-inch potential hunt, and I'm not
mean,
kidding.
yeah.
It's some of the best country in the world, and you'll have a chance to win it. It won't cost you a dime. Every show we go to will have a sign-up form, and we'll have some social media options as well. So stay tuned for that. It's the coolest thing we've ever given away. I mean, it's a $7,500 hunt. Seriously.
So why
I mean,
can't I?
it's a once-in-a-lifetime 200-inch opportunity. Pretty
But I-
cool deal.
I want to do
So
it.
Mike, give him the response you gave me earlier. Still kind of heartbroken about that.
yeah, Jake was like, "Oh, can I enter?" It's like, "Yeah, that's gonna look good." The winner of our 2026 hunt, Tim Shoots.
The old dog. Hey, the shed dog don't.
So it's
weigh no lot.
gonna be a bow hunt. So the reason we're doing it from March 1st to April 28th or 30th is that in May you're gonna have to apply for a point, so you can be guaranteed a tag in 2026. But lodging, meals, and if you've ever eaten at Homegrown, the meals are 5-star. It's either a 5 or a 6-day hunt. November 2nd to the 7th, I think it is, in northern Kansas, and it's some of the best ground in the country. So we're excited.
What if I book and then they're there with the dog?
Well, hey, I
that
mean,
could be an extra like perk for them.
yeah, right, exactly.
Or they're like, son of a bitch, this guy's here.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: if you're hunting with a dog, you know that he's not going to kill one. So like wherever he is, like perfect. He's got the gar hole, so like
No, there's nothing.
my spot's immediately better. So yeah, tell you what. But no, that's gonna be fun. So stay tuned. And Spencer's gonna be at the Harrisburg show this week, but no chance to win at that show.
But go visit us
starting
in
March
Harrisburg.
1st,
We
so-
got Wisconsin
gosh,
Deer
yeah.
and Turkey Expos on our radar. Minnesota is coming.
Iowa, Ohio, NWTF. We're going to be everywhere, so it'll be fun. This is kind of the kickoff of, what do we have, 7 or 8 different shows that we'll be at. Jake will be at NWTF. We'll all be at Wisconsin. Spencer and a couple of guys will be at Iowa.
Jake and I in Minnesota.
Yep, you and Jake in Minnesota. We got Ohio. Whew, lots going on. So, but yeah, Spencer will be out in Harrisburg for the next like 74 days.
That's pretty
The
wild.
longest show ever. But stop
for
out
him.
there. He doesn't have near enough product, so you better get there early. But he'll take care of you. So otherwise, anything else? I mean, five new products.
We're
Let's go along.
excited, and thank you all again for just continuing to support. There's a lot of you on tonight.
Heck
And
yeah.
excited for giving away more stuff on podcasts this year. So make
got a
sure
lot.
you keep
Yeah.
staying in tune.
If you tune in, Timmy will give it away.
Yep.
So we'll be back in February. I don't know when yet.
February's a bit of a beast.
February's crazy, but we'll figure it out. We always find time. And then, it's shed hunting season, so it'll be interesting. We'll try to keep a running tally on JJ versus Jake. It's a big,
What about the
deal.
dog? Why am I
Dog
not
doesn't
in?
count anymore. I mean, they're battling.
You
right
found
now.
your 8 sheds. that
We've got a
year.
board on the wall, and so far JJ's got a 60-incher, so he's leading with the biggest.
I got a 29 3/4.
And they're tied with, they've each found one. So that they got that. But it should be interesting. I'll be curious. I bet between them they'll find 60. So
I got to find 54.
I mean, if Jake's going to find 54, that means JJ's got to find 6. So they'll probably find 80. I mean, JJ's got permission on every property in every county within
Seems that way.
100 miles. So
He has to.
Talk shit, get hit.
oh god, that's normally when we end, right?
Well,
Anywho.
later.
Launch 2025 podcast number 31.
Thank you all.
Appreciate y'all.